What's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent, and by now you should know I'm pretty cynical, and this list is absolutely going to be filled with cynicism. However, I still want to keep the hype alive here, talking about the top 10 upcoming mobile MMO. We're going to be running down through this list, and I just want to say, disclaimer before we get in here, guys, that I don't know if they're going to be good games. I don't even know if they're going to release at all, and if they do release, I don't know if they're even going to be in America, Europe, they might just be in China or Korea or whatever, and I don't actually know if they're going to be proper MMOs. They might just be action RPG. However, they have ties with MMOs. They're going to be online. A lot of them are going to be action RPG that happen to be online, but whatever, guys. They're being publicized as MMOs for mobile devices. That's all I know. They're upcoming games. Some of them don't even have gameplay proper. But what I do know is that I'm pretty sure you guys would be excited about some of these games. Some of them you can play right now, and I think you would and will have fun. So, yeah, let's try to keep the hype alive, guys. Let's get into the list. Lineage. Now, I think there's two different Lineages coming. Like, there's one that's kind of, I think it's going to be like an action RPG, and then there's another that's just Lineage remade for mobile devices. Now, Lineage is actually one of the most popular franchises in the world, like, period, not even just MMOs. So this is a franchise that I completely have never played at all. It's just always been kind of far away from me and my community and the people I play with and the games I generally play. This is more of a Korean grindfest style game, so kind of maybe similar to Ragnarok, but anyways, I generally don't play those kind of games, so I can't say too much about this, but what I have seen from mobile device games, it kind of, you know, goes a little bit hand in hand, so sorry for me being cheeky, guys. Let me know, is Lineage worth jumping back into as well? Crusaders of Light, which is actually on the opposite end of the spectrum here when it comes to graphical capabilities. So you're going to need a stronger phone to run this. Now, I actually play this on my NVIDIA Shield. I had a good time. I enjoyed it. I was actually really surprised by this. And I just overall, like, there's some issues I take with the game, like the fact that it even has PvP in the way that it's incorporated is just kind of garbage. But its PvE is actually really exciting. And there's some mechanics in it that I think some full big boy MMOs on PC, like Z-locking, actually should be incorporated. Like, tab targeting is interesting, but now that I've played Dark Souls and, of course, you know, Legend of Zelda 3D titles, Z-locking is actually really, really cool for melee combat. So Crusaders of Light has it for big boss fights. And all in all, like, it's pretty good. I mean, if you enjoy raiding and stuff like in Terra, WildStar, World of Warcraft, this is one of the few MMOs that are upcoming that you can play right now as well, beta, and you can have a really cool time raiding. If you can get a bunch of friends on here with a group, you can have a fun party. Moving on through the list here, at number 8, we have Majus. Now, this is so low on the list because it's kind of debatable on, you know, how popular this game is going to be, and I feel like the popularity of the game really is important with this genre. Basically, it's a Pokemon Go style game, except here it seems that they're going to really be focusing on cooperative live interaction, like actually dueling other players, maybe stealing resources from other players, and as well actually doing, I don't know if it's proper raids, but you're a little bit of cooperation with the PvE. So this is kind of like Harry Potter meets Pokemon Go, and it seems cheesy. I'm definitely going to be doing a video on that. Stay tuned for it, but Majus is, well, it is what it is. I mean, you played Pokemon Go, now let's just add in the mechanics that Pokemon Go said it would have, kind of, and then make it a real proper MMO. But yeah, we're going to need a population for that to even play this game proper, so hopefully we get some hype for this game. Next, we have Ragnarok Mobile. Now, Ragnarok is a game that I actually missed. I did not play Ragnarok. I heard it was super duper cool. I wonder if it's actually fun to go back to, and maybe I will with the mobile version of the game. And you're going to see, actually, probably from here on out, all the games on the list are games that used to be one thing and they're being turned into another, or just straight up being ported to mobile. So that's what Ragnarok is. It makes sense for older games to do that because our cell phones are freaking strong now. And a lot of them had control schemes that honestly are just dated. You know, like, we have so much more prowess with mouse and keyboard now. We can do all sorts of crazy stuff, like, you know, seeing Guild Wars 2 or maybe first-person shooters, but these older games, click to move, Ragnarok Mobile, especially tile-based games like we saw with Mirage Realms, totally work fine on mobile devices. So, I don't know. Are you going to be jumping back into Ragnarok once again? Let me know. Moving on, we have Tree of Savior, which is going to be like an online action RPG style game. I thought its graphics were freaking adorable. However, there is a little bit of hesitation talking about this game, isn't there? Because Tree of Savior launched with some of the worst optimization ever. Now, I actually put it on a top 10 like games for low spec PCs, and it should go on that list, except it wasn't optimized at launch. Now, it should be better, and especially moving to mobile, hopefully it's not going to have those same issues, but, you know, it's still the same thing to talk about. Tree of Savior got a bad rep, but it's overall an interesting experience to kind of play through with some friends, but I think you might hit a grind cap similar to maybe Lineage or Ragnarok or a lot of other Korean or Chinese games. It is more grind based, and it definitely is inspired. Well, actually, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Tree of Savior is from the Ragnarok mind, so yeah, I mean, it's basically Ragnarok, but turned into more of an action RPG, and so a lot of people are gonna find that kind of twisty and turny, and they're not gonna really enjoy that, but some people might, and I think it's worth giving a shot again. Hey, free to play on mobile devices? Absolutely, might as well. So we have Black Desert. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to be done. I don't know if this is going to be a pseudo MMO action RPG. It's probably just going to have, I'm going to say, asynchronous multiplayer. I don't technically consider those MMOs. It looks like a normal action RPG, but it might be way more MMO than we're expecting. See, Black Desert, when it first launched, looked better than any MMO. It plays better in a lot of ways, like with its animations, its explosions, how fast-paced it is. And it's really bigger and better than a lot of MMOs out there when it comes to graphical prowess and how many people can be on screen at one time and doing as many things as you can do. So I'm expecting Black Desert, when it goes to mobile devices, it might be toned down, it might be changed, but I'm hoping that it will be more online, more action-packed, more social, bigger, better than any other mobile MMO, at least when it comes to actually getting into hopefully a sandbox world. I really hope it's not just a bunch of random instances and you know, basically not an actual MMO. I really hope that. But I'm just gonna say right here, I'm gonna hope. And that's really the best I can do for an upcoming list, right? Next up on the list, we have a game called Durango. Now, this is essentially take like Ark, Survival Evolved, but then make it an MMO. And that's what you got. Durango is this really weird top-down game that has a lot of automatic features with its combat. But don't worry, guys, don't worry. It's actually really sophisticated, really cool. But it is a lot of crafting, a lot of social dynamics with different camps and clans and stuff like that. And there is instancing, but it's not like you going into dungeons. It's like entire islands or entire open areas are instance that you go and it spawns an island and there's like all these people running around, all these freaking dinos. And you run around, you kill some dinos, you get some loots, and you go back to your base and you build it up. And there's survival elements in here as well. So yeah, I mean, it really feels like a proper RPG, which Ark definitely has that as well. So don't think it's just a survival game, which there's tons of those on mobile already. It really does feel like Ark turned into a mobile MMO RPG and done with some really interesting mechanics as well thrown in there. That makes life easier, not just, you know, more gacha, more mobile, more, you know, stamina systems and stuff like that, which those exist, but they're kind of reworked as survival mechanics, like an actual game. So I have to applaud it for that. We'll see how the game turns out in the end, but personally, I know I'll be downloading it day one. Moving on, we have Albion Online at number 3. Now, this is so low on the list, and why it even makes the list when it's already technically released is going to be because Albion Online's mobile component, while you can download it and play it, is still not technically like seal of approval a level. It's not technically released. So while you can play the game and everything, yeah, that's neat, but some mobile device, okay, a lot of mobile devices, you can't actually run the game, or if you do, it glitches out, and blah, blah, blah. The game is not meant for mobile devices just yet. They've had this retooling, this reshaping of Albion Online, and they've still got a lot of issues with the base game. So even though technically it's a released game as a whole, I'm not even going to consider it. And the mobile version, if you actually listen to the developers and what they say on the forums, they'll just be like, yeah, no, the mobile version is just not out. It's really not released yet. So, you know, hold on to that. If you want to play this game as a mobile game, no, Albion Online has changed focus. It's actually more of a PC game now. And later down the road, hopefully, we'll get a proper mobile component. But do know, guys, Albion Online is completely cross-platform with mobile devices. So whenever it does actually run on your phone or your tablets, then I think you're going to have a pretty awesome time. All right, guys, number 2 is going to be a RuneScape. I mean, it's pretty simple, self-explanatory there. It's old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3, which is super duper. Really, guys, I want to like freaking gush about this, but I kind of just want to see it in action to make sure that it actually works. But anyways, RuneScape is a game that I've always wanted on mobile devices. I think it works, just like a lot of games on this list, perfectly with touch controls, you know, point, click, move, tile-based movement. And I think that our phones are strong enough to handle even the new RuneScape, and especially old school RuneScape. And I think a lot of people who missed out on the whole RuneScape rush back in the day because really now the game's really more for nostalgic players. I think we'll be able to jump on with the mobile version. So, you know, I'm trying to keep a tame, volume here, but guys, I'm seriously excited. Hopefully you are too. And our number one is actually going to be a game that we don't have footage for because, yeah, this is like probably super far off and really tight NDA apparently, but Final Fantasy XI is really exciting. I think it's probably the most hyped game that all of us are thinking of. But Final Fantasy XI was a pretty cool MMO, definitely overshadowed by World of Warcraft, but in its own right, Final Fantasy XI did a lot of cool stuff right. It just wasn't the most action-packed MMO, and it immediately looked dated compared to a lot of others. But moving that to mobile devices, if we keep the same slower-paced gameplay and retool some things, but it's also being built in Unreal Engine 4, so it's actually going to look much, much better. And I think we're going to have a really interesting time jumping back into Final Fantasy XI, or for newcomers entirely, who will to enjoy the world of Final Fantasy XI and the gameplay that it has to offer for the first time, and not it be an eyesore, and it'll actually work, the slow-paced gameplay for mobile devices. Now, unlike a lot of games on this list, I think that it's going to be just a kind of copy, like Final Fantasy XI gameplay, mechanics, all that, just kind of reimagined with better graphics put on. Black Desert, for instance, is probably going to be more of an action RPG. It's going to switch from third person to top down and, a bunch of other mechanic changes. I think Final Fantasy XI is just going to be Final Fantasy XI on mobile devices with an actual graphical upgrade, which I don't think any other game on this list can actually claim that. So really interesting stuff, very ambitious, and I'm excited to see what they have in store for us. So that's going to be the end of the list, guys. Top 10 upcoming mobile MMO. A little bit more casual, a little bit more quick, but in the end, I can't really review, I can't really critique. All I can tell you is really just kind of like some cynical things about these games coming up, because there's like a lot of games I wanted to put on this list, like Bless Online, right? It's apparently getting a mobile port, but like Bless was canceled. And really, a lot of mobile games get canceled. A lot of mobile games don't even come to the West. They're kind of built for very specific audiences, and sometimes that's just not in our part of the world. So there's a lot of cynical things to say about these games, and there's a lot of things to be skeptical about. However, at the same time, I still think that there's some really exciting stuff to talk about and gush over, and that's why I still wanted to make the list. So I'm definitely an Android nerd myself. I love mobile games all the time. I play them. I got lots of mobile top 10 lists if you guys want to go watch those. And of course, I do tons of MMO lists, so it just makes sense to combine them and talk about the cool games coming out. So if I missed one, if you want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, leave it in the comments below. Let me know, and I hope you guys have fun. My name's Skylent, and I'll see you in the next one.